and the Miyamotos who make them.
Miyamoto
was just sitting there making Mii's, and they're like, not Mario, Miyamoto.
Mario.
As we've said many times, they have very similar names. Miyamoto, the next Mario needs to be finished. What are you doing? I gotta make these Mii's. They aren't gonna make themselves.
Miyamoto, what will we call them? Your children, your creations. And then he just has written down Miyamoto, and he rips it in half, and he looks at his hand, and he has Yamoto in one hand and me in the other.
I don't remember what video. I think it was in that in last episode when I talked about his keynote in 2007.
Okay, I know.
Yeah,
as I said,
he was like showing, like he was doing his like PowerPoint slideshow through the Wii album.
No,
and so he was
really?
going through it with a Wii remote. Yeah, and he showed like a Mi, like the Mi like channel or whatever. And it said Miyamoto spelled M-I-I.
Oh my!
Like that was his
goodness. I mean, if he hadn't thought of that,
Yeah.
like that would have been ridiculous.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you, Miyamoto. Thank you for everything you give to us.
Yeah, he gives us everything. He gives us life.
He gives us his everything.
He also, I should say, I didn't mention this, but he won the Lifetime Achievement Award that year.
Wow!
At the Game
I
Developers
didn't know he
Conference.
ever won that. Wait, by whom? Who gave it to him?
The Game Developers Conference.
Oh, okay.
And
well,
yeah.
Geez Louise, like who else are they giving that to?
I know, it's like, how is he not the first person?
I thought you meant like
to?
the Nobel Peace Prize or something. Like literally, that's genuinely insulting to me. Like who else is deserving of a Lifetime Achievement Award before Miyamoto in the world of video games?
Yeah.
What singular person other than him is more impactful?
I did when I was like YouTubing that to like try and find a video of it.
Uh-huh.
I did find a video from Spain in like 2012 that he got like he was awarded like the Prince of Asturias award or something like that.
What?
Like from some like presumably like prince in Spain.
Wow.
And it was all in Spanish, so I had like no idea what was going on. But it was just Miyamoto. I assume he doesn't know what's going on either.
Little does he know he was made the king of like Madrid or something. Like
Yeah.
a small town neighboring
He
Madrid.
legally owns Spain now. Yeah. Welcome to Gameography.
Welcome to Gameography. If you haven't guessed, we're doing a second episode on the Wii.
Wii! It's a Wii!
Super Mario!
It's a Wii Mario!
It's a Wii! Oh,
That's cursed. We're here to begin. We're going to begin with The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Now, Tim, some people might have misconceptions that this game was made for the Wii specifically.
Who would have that misconception? Me
I
off
don't know.
mic 20 minutes ago? I doubt it. Okay, I swear, in like 6th grade, I read this, that they
It's always
had...
good.
Yeah.
Good way to start a story.
Yeah. Things that you read in 6th grade are usually true later.
That you swear about.
Yeah. Like, and by swearing, I mean I said like crud or something.
You said, what does Shadow say in Shadow the Hedgehog?
What the hell? Or something.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I have a freaking gun. Something like that. Something to that effect. What did I read? I read that they made the Twilight Princess game of the Legend of Zelda series on the GameCube and the Wii. The GameCube secondarily so that everyone could play it. Devin,
As everyone has a GameCube.
yeah, Devin looked at me with the most condescending look when I said that. He gave me this like shake of the head, like you silly child, you silly
You
little
silly
child.
6th grader. You swear on your mother's life with this information.
And yeah, I was wrong. Okay, Devin says.
Yeah.
What'd you read when you were in 6th grade? The Cimmerillion? That's true.
No, it didn't. That was 7th grade. No, let's not be crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, it was made to be. Aonuma said it was made to be the swan song to the GameCube.
The swang song of the Gong Kong. Twang Long Prawn Songs.
Tim Tim's going crazy.
That's beautiful, though. What a way to end it.
Yeah.
And how was it received when it came out? That's what I'd like to know.
Twilight Princess?
Yeah.
Well, we're skipping ahead in my notes, but very well.
Oh, wow.
It was, yeah. I feel like it's thought of, or at least like my conception of it is it's like kind of like those Zelda like nobody talks about.
Yeah. I mean,
but if
I had to guess like where like the kind of population would rate every Zelda game, I'd imagine it'd be like down near like Skyward Sword, like just kind of mediocre.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably kind of correct. Maybe that, but like at the time, it was the best-selling Zelda of all time.
Jeez, that's insane.
That probably has a lot to do also with the Wii being such a huge success.
Yeah.
But also it was and it was the highest rated game on Metacritic from the whole year.
Wow.
And it's like one of the highest rated games on Metacritic of all time.
See, and it's so funny that like that was received so well then and Wind Waker wasn't, and yet now I feel like it's very clearly been reversed. Right? Like in people's perception of those two games.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Wind Waker was like critically very well received, I think, but just sales wise, it didn't do as good, and that's kind of like the impetus for the creation of Twilight Princess, because they asked, like in Japan, it didn't sell that well, and they were like, oh, well, that's just like the Japanese like market is changing, like people just aren't buying video games as much.
Oh, weird.
And that kind of is why they came out with the DS.
Yeah.
Because like that was very much geared towards like Japan. And then the other thing is like Miyamoto and them were like, well, we didn't really like introduce a whole lot of like new ideas, like new gameplay ideas.
Yeah.
And so that's the other thing of like players were like, we've seen this before kind of thing.
That's so funny. I just don't like.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert.
I think that's them like grasping for a reason.
Yeah.
Where that's not really there,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that's kind of true, but that's just as true in my opinion for Twilight Princess.
Yeah, and so I was about to say the spoiler alert. I didn't really play Twilight Princess for this episode, but I definitely played it.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Like you played it in the past?
Yeah, like I played it when it was the Wii era.
Oh, really?
Like
okay.
I did like probably like a dungeon or two in it or something on Step Brothers Wii. Literally, actually, I would play it when he was out because I wasn't allowed to play it, and I was so desperate to play Twilight Princess.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'd never played it, but then I played the first two dungeons, and I was like, I wanted to get past the third dungeon because usually, like how we've discussed, there's usually like a kind of twist.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily seem like there was going to be, but I don't know because I didn't get there for sure.
I know that there is. I'm pretty sure there is like a dark world in it. Did you already get to that?
Yeah. Oh, but that's like very early on in the game.
So maybe it's like there just isn't that twist, but it's like early on.
There might be a twist, but it's not like that kind of twist.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Because Wind Waker,
I don't really know what's going on. I'll say,
okay, yeah.
Like story wise, like there's some stuff going on, but it's like I don't know what a lot of this means.
Yeah, and see that's a lot of what Wind Waker's twist is. It's like it doesn't change anything about the way you play. It's like the twist is like, oh, this is why everything is happening. This is why we're on top of a bunch of water. So maybe it's like, oh, this is why I'm a wolf.
Yeah.
This is why Navi is like a goth girl.
Yeah, a fully normal human goth girl.
Just a girl who's goth, and nothing else is weird about her. What actually is that girl? What is her name? And then is she supposed to be like a fairy or something? Or
that's one of my questions. It's Midna.
Midna, yeah.
And I don't know what she is or like what her deal is because she just like shows up and Zelda knows her, but like
weird. Just friends from like college or like
exactly. They were dorm mates.
Wow.
Like because somewhat like or pretty early on in the game, you meet Zelda, and that's like Zelda says like, "Hey Midna, what's up?" I don't know. Somehow that's like how you learn that character's name, basically.
Oh, weird. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know what her deal is. She like because where I'm at in the game is like you're going to these dungeons to collect like the shadow power, I guess is what it's called.
Okay, interesting.
And it's like for Midna. It's like
okay. Are you stuck as a wolf?
For parts of it, yeah.
Okay, and is the conceit that like you've been wolf cursed and you're trying to get unwolf cursed?
So the conceit is like the world has been cursed essentially.
Oh, okay.
This like dark mage guy shows up at Hyrule and like takes over the kingdom from Zelda.
Oh, okay.
And
why
like,
does this keep on happening? Is this throne really so vulnerable? Ganon has done it like 20 times, and now this new guy, who I'm sure is just Ganon.
Yeah, exactly.
Just Ganondorf in like a
or
black
like
cape.
or his like henchman or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they don't got good security, is what I would say. When literally they have like a bunch of guards, but then like what ends up happening is one guy just has to like defeat every enemy in the world.
Yeah. Literally, they just have one good guard.
They just don't have a good training system in place, I think.
It must
they don't have a good onboarding process at Hyrule. But so
that's like do you know the series Unraveled? Matt showed it to us.
Oh, like
Brian David Gilbert. Just like it's like the guy like goes like, what is the
like a game theory kind of thing?
Basically, yeah. I think it's better, but that could be one of them. Like, what is the problem with the onboarding process? Of Zelda's
no, that totally
Royal
is
Guard.
one of the things.
That literally could be one.
Yeah. So like the whole the whole of Hyrule gets like a curse put on it, but then there's these certain sections, I guess, where it's like more, I don't know. There's certain sections that are like especially cursed. And when you go into them, you enter the Twilight, is what it's called.
The Twilight Zone.
Yeah, and that's where you get turned into a wolf.
Oh,
a wolf.
A wolf. Andy always says that Devin says wolf like wolf, and I really just heard it. I really just heard that.
We're gonna move on. And yeah, well, just to get to my thoughts on the game. So like it's split up into those sections where you're Link. And then when you get to a new area, basically, you go into the Twilight, and then you have to like cleanse the Twilight as the wolf. And then
you just said wolf, Devin.
I said wolf.
There's an L in there.
Wolf. That's like if you slowed down what I said, that's what it would sound like.
Wolf.
You said waff.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Why you keep on calling Link a waff? Link becomes a waffle for this part.
Yeah,
he's cleansing the Denny's.
So basically, how this came about is, Aonuma was like, we should make a more realistic looking Zelda since that was like kind of the analysis of why Wind Waker wasn't a success in America.
Yeah,
and Miyamoto said, "Stop thinking about graphics. That's not going to change anything." You need to think of new gameplay ideas.
Yeah, and this really was like in the era of like everybody was like, but are the graphics good?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. And
so he's like, what if Link's a wolf? That'd be a fun gameplay mechanic.
Yeah. He says that like, okay, he was like, what if Link turned into an animal or something? And he's like, in one interview, he says like, I just randomly kind of thought of like, what if he was a wolf and said that at a meeting, and then like, that's what ended up happening. But then there's another source, I think from like this book. But I couldn't find it in like where he actually said it. Is that the concept for Link transforming into a wolf comes from a dream that he had while overseas on a business trip, and he dreamt that he was a wolf locked inside a cage.
Oh.
And after he woke up, he was confused and disoriented, and it took him a while to remember who he was.
Oh.
So like, I like to think that that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because also, we need to remember, this is the guy who also was behind Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
So that seems kind of likely.
And he had a dream about being a Deku.
Exactly.
Okay.
Being chased by a Deku.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Eiji clearly just has some like mental kind of like trauma in his brain or something. Like he's just like reliving.
He's clearly been traumatized by Zelda, I would say. Which we'll get to a little bit
That's
later.
why he's so good at making these games.
Yeah. And then how Midna got added to the game was Miyamoto said, like, it's not, like, interesting or, like, it doesn't look as good just, like, watching, like, a wolf, like, a four-legged person running around.
Yeah, you don't want to just look at a wolf all day.
Yeah. And
Devin gave me, like, some wolf eyes right there.
And so he was like, you should put someone riding it. And so Because when
I forgot she rides it.
when you're in wolf form,
That's
Midna
cool.
rides you. Yeah.
Hot.
They're a tiny little body.
Ugh.
She's weird, but she is like I feel like one of the cooler things about the game.
Yeah, for
'Cause
sure.
it
She's
is just
definitely
like-
one of the most memorable characters.
Yeah, she's like clearly in the place of like Navi or the boat.
I forgot. Yeah, the boat is. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
the boat is Navi or Tattle.
Yeah, you always have a sidekick except for like Breath of the Wild, I guess. You really don't.
Oh my gosh, maybe that's literally why that doesn't quite feel right as a Zelda game.
Yeah, that is like something that's like it does feel a little bit missing, but
I never realized that, but that totally is it.
but yeah, and then okay, so getting to my thoughts on the game, I think like the wolf parts that they added, there was an L in there. You heard that.
There was not
Wolf.
a single L.
Wolf. They're just like the game would be better without it is the thing. Like,
Yeah.
like the big like thing that they added is like the worst part of the game in my opinion, because what you do is you get to a new area and then like you go into like the Twilight and there's like the cool like what I like about it is that there's like these like crazy like you know like very like Japanese like looking like you know designed looking like monsters.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds cool.
And like those are really like cool looking. They're not necessarily like interesting to fight at all, but like it is like kind of cool looking. But then like all you're doing is you have to like collect these. You have to kill these bugs and collect the like the light essence from them.
Animal Crossing Twilight Princess.
Yeah, and so like you just have to run around like a certain part of Hyrule and like where the bugs are is on the map, so you just have to run around and find them. And then once you've got them all, then you get transformed back into Link, and then you just have to run around that whole same area again.
Oh, okay.
But like you're doing Link stuff, you know? And it's like it's just not fun to play as the dog, to play as the wolf.
You're just trying to avoid saying the words that'll make fun of you.
Dog, you can't hurt me.
Dog.
Dog.
Doog.
Like the combat is definitely worse as a wolf because like literally all you can do is just like attack.
Yeah.
Like there's just like you don't have any items, like you don't have like you can't block or anything.
Yeah.
And so it's like very restrictive in that sense, but also it's like you know, a lot of Zelda is like using your items and things in order to like get to certain places, like to like literally just navigate.
Yeah, 100%.
And you can't do that either as a wolf. So like what they do is like it literally just becomes like you if you get to a ledge and they're like planned places where you can do this or not. Like Midna will be like a little thing will pop up and you press Z and then she'll like go to where you can jump and then you Z target her and then can jump there.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like it's not like a good gameplay.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, it's just like very, and like the last one I did, which hopefully I don't know, I think it might be the last one. Was like really long and super annoying.
Okay,
and it's just like I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
like it just let me like play Zelda.
Yeah, I mean, that honestly is kind of the problem with the conceit of the Miyamoto keeps having, where it's like, I don't know that you need new like gameplay mechanics for Zelda. Like, just make more Zelda.
I think you do. I think that's right because like that is also my other problem. Though I think it does like a good job from what I played of like doing some unique stuff, just with like the like items you get and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like, get some new items, like new puzzle type things you can solve. But it's like, ultimately, it's like, I just want to, every year or two, let's just play a new Zelda game. And then if we can also make it have a different, like, ambiance and a different visual style, like, that's all we really need.
Yeah. And they were clearly very, like, visually and just kind of, like, thematically, they were clearly very inspired by Lord of the Rings, in my opinion.
Oh, interesting.
And they even, like, mention it.
Oh, that's funny.
That, like, that kind of like fantasy setting and like even before I'd even read that, like some of like the like in like the cutscenes and stuff, like you can just tell.
Oh, that's funny.
if you know Lord of the Rings,
if you're a loader, like Devin is.
If you're if you're a scholar of the works. And another thing that they obviously don't say, but I feel like a lot of people like think this is that they came out the same year, but Okami by Capcom and
yeah.
Hideki
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Is like it's like a Zelda-like game, but where you're playing a wolf.
Yeah.
Yourself.
Yeah.
And like that's it. You're just a wolf. You don't turn into a human or anything.
Yeah.
And like they were probably inspired by that, I would say.
Clearly. I can't believe I never made that connection, but like literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Okami, is it like very Zelda-like?
It's not like no, like I mean, it's like lightly Zelda-like. Like it's not like it doesn't have like all the stuff. Like it's not like a clone of Zelda, you know. Like it like its combat is very different, obviously, because like you're not only just like attacking like kind of how you would normally, but you also use like the brush techniques, where you like draw symbols on the screen to do different powers and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's more about that than like getting new items necessarily. But it is like similar in that like you'll get a new brush technique, like blow like a wind storm or something, and then you use that to like solve puzzles and stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And the other interesting thing about that game is like that game is very similar to Wind Waker's like aesthetic style.
Oh, you're right.
It's
it
like
has the comic book.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's like the like cell shaded.
That's what it is.
Very like Japanese like hand.
Like,
drawn kind of look. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, and that's a good game, but yeah, the wolf. They should have. I guess they probably they couldn't have played it beforehand, but it's like playing as the wolf in Okami is like great, but it's they did not. It is not great.
They didn't crack the code.
Yeah. As far as Miyamoto's role on this game, he was kind of there at the beginning a little bit, and then like they worked on it for a couple of years basically, and then he like kind of came in at the end.
Oh, okay.
And how they'd been working on it was like, you know, it was like, I don't know if I think it was probably the biggest like team that they'd ever had working on a game. It was like 100 people or something.
Oh, wow.
And so they like, I think this is the way a lot of like companies are just now that make like those kind of like really big games with like tons of people working on it, is like people kind of like go off into their little sections and like work on stuff.
Yeah.
And then like basically when Miyamoto showed up, he was like, well, there's all this stuff, but like it doesn't really fit together.
Yeah.
And so like he kind of like helped them like iron things out and like fit it all together. And one thing that he's a stickler for with Zelda apparently is like just like being able to like if you think about something that like you think you should be able to do, and you go and try and do it and you can't, then he's like, we can't have that. So he would like send he would send emails that like the staff dubbed his sob emails, where he would be like, I went here and I tried to do this and nothing happened.
No, just like a single tear falling from Miyamoto's eye because he couldn't like jump off a cliff.
Yeah.
That is, I think that maybe that's like one of the, that could be like a key element of Miyamoto's like artistry or game making like philosophy, because that to me is like one of the single most frustrating things that could possibly be in a game, and it always has been that way for me. So to hear that Miyamoto thinks that way too is like, that explains so much.
Yeah. Well, and he's just like such a stickler for like the details, I would say, like of just like being like one thing he talked about is like the art is like so much more detailed than it needs to be, where it's like he was like like on the sides of ladders in the game there's like designs and stuff, and he's like by default the camera's behind you as you climb up them, so like you would never see them unless you happen to pan the camera around, and like other stuff like that, where it's like
that's cool.
They just like put a lot of like work into it in that sense of like putting all these details into it.
How's the sign floating in water action in Twilight Princess?
I'm glad you asked, because there's an anecdote about this. This is a quote from Miyamoto. It's a well-known fact that Zelda games always have signposts that can be sliced apart. The village at the beginning of the game is no exception. However, in this game, finally, the pieces you cut off can be picked up.
Oh.
And then this is like from an interview, and then in parentheses, roaring laughter from everyone. And then
that is like Miyamoto's favorite thing.
Yeah, and then Aonuma says, "Of course, if you throw them in the river, they float." And they said, like, basically, you had to make them be able to pick them up because they didn't put any signs by rivers. So you have to be able to pick them up to put them in water to see that they float.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, like, we didn't like have to do that at all. But
that's like Miyamoto in a nutshell. It's like, I didn't have to do that at all.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's great.
Yeah. And then another anecdote about the just like the graphical detail and stuff that they're going through. That's quite interesting. Just by virtue of finding out who Miyamoto has talked to and knows. But he said, I once had a discussion with Hayao Miyazaki when he was making Porco Rosso.
Wow, that's like kind of vintage.
90s, yeah. And he asked me if I knew the way to make a landscape look authentic from a bird's eye view. I wasn't sure, and when I asked him what it was, he said, just keep drawing.
What?
Just keep adding stuff, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
And so he says, that's basically what they did for this game.
Just keep drawing until Link
I imagine that's
a real wolf.
Yeah, that's the same, because there is hints of Breath of the Wild in this game, in the sense of it's the first. I mean, I guess Wind Waker was like this in a way, where it's it is truly a big open world.
Yeah,
but because it's all water and it's islands and stuff, it's a little different.
Yeah,
but
it
in
really isn't in a sense. But
in this, it really is it's not compared to Breath of the Wild. It's not that big, but it's a big connected map where you can there's different ways to get to all the areas and stuff.
That's cool. Yeah.
I
feel like it was a big talking point at the time of how physically big the map was.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen videos where they compare the size of it to the Ocarina of Time, and it's crazy. But then it's if you put it over Breath of the Wild, it's
very small.
It's microscopic.
Yeah. It's also the first time I feel unless there's something like this in Wind Waker, because you go to Hyrule Castle, and it's it's what you imagined it being in Ocarina of Time, where there's just tons of people walking around. You know, there's truly 30 people on screen or whatever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's they definitely I think a lot of what they were going for was they were trying to go back to kind of the feeling of Ocarina of Time in a lot of in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Where when they said we want to do more realistic graphics, they also then talked about how we didn't really want to do realistic graphics, just not Wind Waker style.
Yeah.
Because and I feel conflicted about the graphics, where it's it's kind of similar to Ocarina of Time, where Link looks really good, and I'll say I played the GameCube version, so it might look a little bit.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
might look a little better on Wii, but also I'm playing it on an emulator, obviously, with scaling on it and stuff. So
I bet it looked really cool then.
Yeah, Link looks really good, but just the Ocarina of Time, walls and stuff, and the ground still looks pretty bad.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah,
I guess because it is literally in 480p. Or what's the resolution of the GameCube? Is it 240?
I think it's the same as the Wii.
480.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, and then the other problem I have with it is when you're in the Twilight, there's this bloom effect on everything.
Oh, okay.
You know,
what does that mean?
Where it's everything's kind of got a glow to it.
Oh yeah.
It's
I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's I get what they're going for, but it's I just don't like it.
Yeah.
It's I would just you didn't need to do that.
Yeah. If I'm visualizing that correctly, I don't think I like that effect when they do it.
But I did think it was interesting that it seemed almost, at it's going back to Ocarina of Time, but I felt it was also kind of going back to A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo with a lot of things, where it's very specifically in that you have like the light world and the dark world, and that's like very similar.
It's literally the dark world with a different name.
Yeah, and then also he did talk about how like the idea of Link transforming into a wolf comes from when in in Link to the Past, you first go into the dark world, you're transformed into a bunny.
Oh,
or something.
Yeah,
and then you have to get out of that.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
And then the other thing is the first real item you get is the lantern.
Oh,
that you need because you go into like caves and stuff that are dark. And if you don't have, and you need like oil for your lantern.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is very like similar to how it works in Link to the Past, where like when you go into caves, it's like completely dark except for you can only see your character unless you have the lantern. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So like it felt like kind of like a throwback in that sense, but then. And then, like, as I played more, it felt more like new stuff. To get back to it going on the Wii, is that basically they had planned it for just like a GameCube game. Then Nintendo was like, okay, the Wii's going to come out.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is, it was supposed to come out like a year earlier, but they needed more time. So they delayed it for a year. And so I guess that probably like made it line up more with the Wii. And they were like, we need this for the Wii.
Yeah.
Because it's also the first time that a Nintendo console launched with a Zelda game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's always way
Mario,
later.
Usually, yeah, exactly. It's always way later.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because like if they had launched Twilight Princess like a year before, then it's like you wouldn't have had a Zelda game on the Wii for such a long time.
Exactly.
It's like that could have definitely hurt sales.
Yeah. And so like they really like struggled as to how to adapt it to the Wii.
Interesting.
And literally, so like their first like big attempt at it was because everyone knows now like you swing the remote to swing your sword.
Yeah.
But originally that wasn't the case. It was just you press like B.
Can you not even press B in the Wii version? Can't you also do that?
I don't know
if
you can or not.
Because it sucks. Like
yeah. But so what happened is they had it at E3 and people were playing it and people were like naturally like doing like swinging it
really?
to try and swing the sword and they were like, why doesn't it work? And they were like,
wow.
Okay. And then Miyamoto was like, yeah, it was bad. I assume there was like other things too. That weren't working, but yeah. So, but they like it was supposed to come out in just a few months, so they didn't have enough time to, because I guess the reasoning is because most people are right-handed. But Link has always been left-handed. He holds the sword in his left hand. So they're like, well, we don't have enough time to remodel Link. So literally what the Wii version is everything in the game is flipped. Everything on the Wii version that was left in the GameCube version is on the right.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's
like
really insane.
The map is flipped?
Mm-hmm. And they literally went through and like changed east to west in the text. And vice versa.
That is completely insane.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
How did anyone decide to do that when you could have just make him hold it in his left hand and you swing with the right? Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's such a ridiculous amount of work, or like such a weird like.
Yeah, it is a very weird decision
for such a small payoff. Like, who would ever notice or care about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
my God.
They must have like tried it and been like, this feels weird to have it on the.
I guess that must be
or something.
That also kind of feels like a thing Miyamoto would make them do. It'd just be like, no, he's not holding it in the correct hand.
Yeah.
Remake the whole game so it's backwards.
But so that's why Twilight Princess on the Wii is the only one where he's not left-handed.
Oh,
technically.
Gosh.
Very weird.
Wow.
I do have to say that I feel like the reputation this game has is a little bit unearned. Like that we were talking about.
What reputation is that?
That like it's like kind of like a lesser Zelda game. At least clearly not everyone thinks that. But
yeah.
That was like my take on it, or what I thought people thought about it.
Yeah, definitely same. Where is that coming from then?
Yeah, I don't know, but like it feels, because it is like, I feel like also people like look down on it because they're like, oh, it's like they just were trying to be like dark and edgy. But it's like, I feel like they really aren't, is the thing. Like if you actually play it.
Oh, really?
It's like not like there are like darker elements, but it's not like they went like R or something, like, you know, like, it's like there's like really nothing like crazy happens in it.
Yeah, it's probably just because the whole I mean, it's Twilight Princess. Like clearly that was
going
like
into like the dark world.
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's like clearly the theme of it, or like the visual theme of it, even if it's not like, you know, actually obscene.
But also there's so much that's still just like goofy.
Yeah,
like, you know, like all the kind of stuff you would have in a normal Zelda game. That part of its reputation feels like overblown to me. And also it doesn't feel dark as much as it just feels weird, like kind of like going back to more like Majora's Mask.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
like, where it's just like Midna is like, she's not like a dark character, it's just like super weird. She's a weird little like imp creature with a weird like helmet thing on her head. But I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Like, I thought I would just play like an hour or two.
Interesting.
And then like be like, okay, I'm good. Like I played enough of it, but I kept playing because
I've always kind of had the thought that maybe it actually would be really fun and I'd get into it.
Yeah, I think it's not like really fun, but it is fun. Like the problem, like they didn't solve some of the problems of Zelda, and even in like, I kind of feel in some ways it's like they went backwards from like Ocarina of Time.
Oh,
where it's
interesting.
Like, I just feel like the combat is like so like, I feel like in Ocarina of Time, you know, it's like the enemies are like very like dynamic and like blocking you and stuff. And it's just like in this game, and this kind of I felt about Wind Waker too. It's just like you just run up to them and like hit A bunch of times, and then they die. And, and it's like that really, like they don't do a lot of like more unique enemies, or even when they are like they have like a little something about them they have to like think about. It's like like you still just hit A, like you know what I mean?
You know, that really is like an aspect that's in Ocarina and then kind of in Majora's Mask, but mostly just because it's leftovers.
Yeah,
it's like, honestly, I don't know that they ever really went back to that in another three. I feel like every like 3D Zelda game I've played other than Ocarina of Time has completely non-dynamic enemies.
Yeah.
Which is such a bummer because it's genuinely one of the funnest parts of Ocarina of Time.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, exactly. Even in Breath of the Wild, like the fun of that combat comes from like, you have all these like abilities and stuff.
Yeah. And the enemies also will like, you know, they'll shoot the bomb arrows at you randomly and stuff. Like there's lots of fun things that can happen, but it's like,
they're dynamic in a sense. Yeah. But it's not like the dueling that you had in,
that's really what it is. It's because it's like those enemies feel like genuinely as like almost intelligent or like strategic as you could expect from a 90s, you know, AI enemy. Yeah.
Whereas it's really like they just try and attack you, and then you just attack them in this. Like that's really it.
Which is it's kind of weird that that's the case, because I feel like what I've realized in playing these Zelda games is that it's like the thing that kind of defines Zelda is that it's puzzle. It's like it is a puzzle game, and it's even though it's like it's more observably an action game. And that's like why it's so fun, is because it's both of those at the same time. But it's like they need. I think that it'd be better if they incorporated the puzzle aspect into the combat, because that's like awesome.
That seems like so obvious. No, I agree. Yeah. And my last note on Ocarina of Time for my playthrough is that
the first Twilight Princess of Time?
Yeah, Twilight Princess of Time. Yeah. Is that Aonuma must really like monkeys. Because just like in Majora's Mask, where like the first like dungeon is basically like you trying to save this monkey.
Oh yeah.
In a way. Like in the forest temple, which is the first dungeon, you're saving all these monkeys. And like there's like, I don't know, like 7 monkeys or something you have to save. And like it's great because you need them to like get through the dungeon. Yeah. Or like after you like break them out of all their cages, then like how you get to the final boss room is like there's like this big chasm like you couldn't get across.
It's like monkey ladder or whatever.
Yeah, the monkeys all like jump onto this rope, and then you like jump and they like swing you across.
That's so great.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my gosh.
It's just I just like that detail. That's like he just likes monkeys, obviously.
I wonder if that's like actually a reference almost to Majora's Mask being his first one that he directed, where he's like, I'll put a monkeys in the first dungeon just like that time.
Yeah.
But also there's that monkey in Mario 64. It's probably Mario's in other Nintendo games. It might be just an overarching theme of Miyamoto and Nintendo at large.
They like monkeys.
Monkeys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there lots of monkeys in Japan?
There are monkeys in Japan. There's like the famous, like monkeys that like go to hot springs. You know about this?
I do not know.
They
about
like
this.
sit in like, because like there's tons of hot springs in like mountains in Japan and stuff. So like if you go to like some of those just like natural like outdoor hot springs,
just monkeys enjoy
monkeys
it.
will just like be sitting in there.
Oh my!
Or you can like see that. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Did you ever like go in a hot spring with a monkey?
I mean, people might have thought I was a monkey, but
you started this rumor. It's actually not true.
People just saw me and they were like, "Man, there's so many monkeys in hot springs." But similar to Miyamoto's story about Ocarina of Time, Aonuma has and his family has a story about this game and his family.
Oh, interesting.
His son was 5 years old, I guess, about when it came out, and he said his wife has like no interest in games, just like Miyamoto's wife, and doesn't understand his job and stuff, and he never had his like kid play games and stuff, but his son saw like Wii's somewhere, like he saw a commercial for it or something, and he said he wanted a Wii.
Wow. And
so he like brought one with Wii Sports and Twilight Princess, and so they played Wii Sports together, and then he said like, "Oh, what's this one?" and it was Zelda, and so like he put it in, and he was like, "I don't think he's gonna be able to play it."
Yeah,
it's like it's way more complicated.
But he was an Aonuma. Right?
Yeah. But then so like he showed him how it worked and stuff, and like the beginning of the game is really just like nice. It's like an hour long, or you could probably do it. I mean, you could do it faster, but like it's just like you're just in this little village, and like Link is he's like a rancher basically. Like you herd sheep in the beginning of the game. Oh
wow, that sounds fun. That sounds nice.
It's just like I was like, there's nothing dark about this at all. Like, you're just hanging out, and then like you just like the beginning of the first like little like puzzles and quests are just like helping out people in the town and stuff.
That's so nice.
And you go fishing and stuff like that. And so he said like his son like figured out like the fishing and all that, and just like basically like hung around in the town. And then he was like, "Can I play Zelda again tomorrow?" And then he said the next day he came home, and he was shocked because his wife was playing Zelda with his son watching.
Gosh.
And he was like, "What's going on?" And she said he was playing Zelda, and he got to a part in the game where a bunch of monsters came out. Because he got so scared, he couldn't make it any further. So I started playing, and he started giving me advice, and then we started having fun playing together.
Oh,
and he gets so sad when game over comes up that I have to keep playing.
Oh my gosh. That's so cute.
Yeah. And he was like, I realized that the Wii, which was reviving the feeling that he had, he says, when he first played Mario as on the original Famicom, that it was reviving that feeling and reminding him like what was important about a game. Just
wow,
great.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
That's crazy that even Twilight Princess is like embodying the spirit of the Wii.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm sure for a kid, like the Wii version probably was easier to play, where it's like you just
exactly,
like swing and also like I guess part of the reason why maybe the fact that the combat is so just simple in it probably works in the Wii's favor. Yeah, where it's like you don't have to do anything complicated; you can just like keep swinging until they're dead, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I also want to point. You just said complicated. I think you have a problem with just the letter L.
What are you talking about?
Say wall.
Wah.
Now say wall. Wah
wah.
Wah wah. Wah wah.
Mario, because the next game, Mario Galaxy. I assume you don't have anything else to say about Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess.
I didn't say princess, did I?
No, I did.
Okay, good.
You bring the Twilight.
Can't say ours.
I bring the princess. Yeah, I can't say ours.
Mario.
Mario. Mario.
Oh, Mario.
That's so much funnier. It should have been that. Oh, Mario.
Luigi can't say ours. Or probably L's.
And Mario can't say L, so he goes Luigi. That's where Ouija comes from.
You can't say soft G's either.
Luigi.
Tim just laughs already. Hit his head on the mic. So Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, we talked about Twilight Princess for 50 minutes. You apparently
Really?
have a lot of thoughts on that. So
wow.
we got like 10 minutes before they shut us off the air.
I don't think we'll have a lot to say about the next.
Also,
two.
We did talk about Mario Galaxy in another episode at some point.
We did, yeah, exactly. So we don't have to talk about it too much, but there's not. We've already talked about how like the game idea came about of like from that tech demo, and basically it was just Miyamoto being like over and over again being like, we should make a game where like you're running around spheres.
Yeah.
And then that's like all he said, and so that like became like, oh, we should be like little planets.
Yeah.
And I've like, so here's my take on Mario Galaxy. It might be my favorite 3D Mario game.
Yeah, I know this. Yeah.
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 Really?
That's not shocking.
I haven't told you that.
I know.
I think it maybe is like,
you didn't have to tell me.
I think it's probably like tied with Mario Odyssey for me.
Yeah.
But like, it's just so great. Just like, I just love like, and the thing about it for me is like, because I didn't have a Wii, but I went over to my friend's house and they had Mario Galaxy, and I don't like. Do you know about like the 2-player mode?
Oh, I saw that it was like the star or something. Like I assume it's the thing where like you do nothing.
Exactly. Yes. So that was like my experience of Mario Galaxy, where I was like, this game is not good. Like as a kid,
Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm sure I was like, like this game seems fine, but it was like, I don't need a Wii, because it was like, like I go to my friend's house, they're like, okay, you can do the second player thing, and then it's like literally all you can do is like
you pick up the stars,
star things, and then you can shoot them, and that's literally it.
Which like that's probably fun when you come across enemies, but then that's like 10%
that's probably fun if you're like 5 years old.
Yeah, that's literally it is little brother mode.
Exactly. Yeah, but but then like so like I always just didn't really think about this game.
Yeah.
Even though like everyone says it's good, but it's just like, I don't know. I just like love the like visuals and like the music.
Yeah.
Is like so good. And just like, I don't know. Just like, I love the like, I don't know. Just it feels like you're just doing something insane all the time. Of just like running around these planets and like you like, if there's two little spheres next to each other, you jump and then go to like the gravity sucks you into the other one.
Yeah.
And just like, I love just like with like the intros to all the levels when you're just flying through space into them,
Yeah, that is
it's just great. And then like I feel like to me probably it's like better on the Switch, honestly.
Yeah, I one of my things about it was that I'm blown away at what playing it today in particular made me realize is that it's like the Switch is just a Wii.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's a better Wii.
Yeah, like it works just the same as the Wii, except it just doesn't have the
sensor bar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so you have to center it. But it's like that's like so much less invasive than you'd think it'd be.
Yeah, and also like it kind of works better.
Yeah,
like except for that centering thing, obviously. Yeah. But like, and that said, like the only downside to the game is like the parts where you have to do motion controls, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because there are like levels where. It's like they're like bonus levels basically, but it's like in every galaxy there's like one or two maybe where, it's like you're like there's one where like you're in a ball, and like you like have to like you like hold the Wii remote or whatever you have up straight, and then like you tilt it and then roll
and it
forward.
like it's like that Kirby game.
Yeah,
where you're like,
yes,
you're
it's like Kirby Tilt
rolling.
and Tumble.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like
wow, that sounds
that can
fun.
be like it works. It works, but it's like it
Yeah.
could be very frustrating.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like the same thing with there's like other ones that are kind of like that where it's like
Mhm.
you have to use like the motion controls to do
Yeah.
these, and it's like those would make me frustrated. But
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like, I mean, and this is probably one of my biggest thoughts on the Wii in general, is that the motion controls being the center of the gameplay of the console is amazing for casual games, and then for the like normal Nintendo games that just got put on the Wii because that was the system.
Yeah.
It always makes them worse.
Yeah.
I can't think of one example of a game
Yeah.
other than Wii Sports that I would enjoy playing with the Wii remote over like a GameCube controller.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I think Mario Galaxy is better in that regard than Twilight Princess because it's like you really, except for those like parts, you really
Yeah.
don't have to use it.
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
like you press a button to jump, you have your control stick,
Mm-hmm.
and like you use the like to pick up the star bits, you use it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like that's fine. Like
Yeah.
you just like go like this, and then you pick them all
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
And it's like
And also-
that's like fun.
Yeah, it is fun, but it's also that's something that I always am like, why is that in there? Like that, it's too easy. The shooting, it's like,
You don't need to do it either.
yeah,
I mean, like you do need to pick up the star bits to get to certain areas, but like because you feed them. That I do like that. Did
Yeah,
you,
that
did you do
I-
that?
I
Like,
really-
shoot them into their mouths.
yeah. And I
little star
just
guys.
today I was walking around, and just every little guy was like, poop, just you get one, just because it's like, oh, it's so sweet. They're like, yummy. It's fun.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like it.
yeah. No, it is great. Yeah, and I just like, I like them in the sense that it's like it, it's just like makes the game like really colorful because they'll
Yeah,
just be like everywhere
yeah.
in the level.
And the sound effect and the visuals of it are so fun.
Yeah, and also just like there'll be those sections where it's like you're going in between like planets basically in a level,
yeah, yeah.
and it's like clearly that the game is like loading,
Yeah,
but it's like there's still something to do because you're like flying around and you can pick up the star bits, and it's like so it's still like fun.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and just like the being Mario is great in this game.
the being Mario of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being Mario Malkovich, climb into Mario, his brain.
That's a horrifying thought.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I actually am kind of the opposite of you, where
Big surprise. You mean bad?
wow, no, it's I don't know. I just don't like this game that much.
Yeah.
And here's the
'Cause
thing:
you're
is
insane.
I would never. There's nothing about it that I can actually critique. Like,
Yeah, because you only like things you have nostalgia for, Tim.
no, that's so not true. Because I like Mario Odyssey a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like
How much did you play of it though?
Today I got through up to like the Bowser part of the first set of galaxies or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I definitely have not played barely any of it.
Yeah.
And I will probably I hope to at some point like really go through it and do more. But it's just something about it just like does not grab me at all. Like I literally just get bored every single time I play it.
I think this is what it is, and because it's the kind of Mario game I like in the sense that it's not the same formula as Mario 64.
Yeah.
Where you go into a big open world or a big
Yeah.
open, not big, but like an open level,
yeah.
and you run around and like you get a star in one place and then you go to a different part of the level the next time.
Yeah.
There are multiple stars per like level or whatever, world, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
but they're like usually like very distinct things. Like you're doing a completely different thing. Like it's like a new level almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like very rarely like you're very rarely going over the same like parts of the level
yeah.
and like just exploring it. You're like,
Yeah.
or if you are, it's like at only the beginning of it,
Yeah,
and then you're going to like you find a new area that wasn't open in that
yeah.
the last time. So it's like it has to me like the best parts of like 2D Mario and 3D Mario.
Yeah.
Where it's like it still has that exploration and like just running around a 3D level,
yeah.
but it's like more like this is a designed level
Mm-hmm.
that's like because there are ones that are also just like kind of in that like Bowser level
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
style from Mario 64 where it's just like it's going basically from right to left.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just like that.
Yeah, and that probably is the difference because I definitely playing it, I was like, this is just like Odyssey to me. Or like similarly. It's like you can there's a lot of like little things like
But Odyssey is like Mario 64.
I guess, but I don't when I play Odyssey, it feels more like this to me, where it's like you're kind of being put put through like a course almost. Like I don't know. That probably isn't true in a lot of cases, but it's like they feel more linear to me. Whereas like
I think that's only really true in like the first like couple of stars in a level, because there's like 300 moons in every level of Mario Odyssey. Like there's so much of just like
moons. I forgot.
Yeah, of just like going to like just exploring those levels.
And that's probably why Odyssey to me is like more boring than 64 and Sunshine. Like we all hate Sunshine, and it deserves all.
No, you
hate.
like it. It's better than these.
But it's like, but then I do still. I played through all of Odyssey, and I would love to do it again. It's like because it's a little bit more that way, but then it's a little bit too linear for me to fully love it the way I love 64.
Insane.
Or maybe possibly you're insane. That's the other option. I think one of those.
I think
true.
we know who's insane. So it sounds like you would like the Bowser's Fury thing in on the
I'm
Switch.
very excited to play that. Did you get that?
No, I haven't gotten it.
Yeah, at some point I will.
Yeah, once we stop this podcast.
once we're not playing a different Nintendo game every week. do it again for fun.
Yeah, that's. I just think like it's great. Like I was planning to get like every star in it, which I've like never done, and then I obviously didn't because it does like once you like you beat the game, like you beat like the last boss, and then you go. Like you just can go back in, and like then there's like more levels essentially.
Oh, that's cool.
That's like and
so
like harder
Odyssey?
stuff. Is that how Odyssey works?
Yeah. Like a trillion more moons get scattered across every level.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's not quite the same, but yeah, it is similar.
Interesting.
And that it just gets like a lot harder at that point.
Oh yeah.
And I like there's one level specifically where because they also do things where it's like. And they do this in the earlier part of the game too, but like there'll be like challenge levels where it's like you have to do basically the same thing you did before, like a level you did before, but you can only get hit once.
Oh wow! Okay.
So there's the one I stopped on was that where it's like a really hard thing where you have to get like every jump right because you're on like a moving platform.
Wow.
Going from left to right.
Yeah.
And like you can run around. Like to the bottom and the top of it, obviously, and there's like like things being shot at, like bullet bills and stuff coming at you, and like lasers and stuff.
Oh my gosh!
So I was just like, I tried like for like 2 days and was like, I can't do this.
Wow,
48 hours straight. Yeah,
but it's a good game. See, I want to be clear. I would never say it's a bad Mario game. It's just not my favorite, and I leave myself open to like it later.
Yeah, you should play more of it.
I will.
Yeah. And then
Devin's scrolling through pages and pages of paragraphs of notes right now.
Mario Galaxy was it's the 6th highest rated game of all time on Metacritic.
Wow.
And
jeez,
it is the 3rd best-selling Wii game.
Wow.
Which I feel like that's what it says for Wii Fit. maybe I think because Wii Fit sold more, but So Wii Fit comes from just Miyamoto, like getting out of shape basically, and then like starting to exercise, and then he was like, I was exercising, but then I started gaining weight again. So he's like, then I started weighing myself and like recording it every day.
Yeah,
and like he was like, I just thought that was fun. So literally his idea for Wii Fit was like, and literally their whole idea for like the first, he doesn't say how long, but like they were just like. We should just make a thing where you just weigh yourself every day and it records it. And that's the game.
That literally is the game, yeah.
Yeah. And he says like he's like, I was just trying to think of like cuz like most people weigh themselves like alone and like with their clothes off.
Yeah.
He's like we have to figure out like how to make it fun for like everyone to like weigh themselves like as a family like it's just in front of each other and stuff.
Which is actually funny because I mentioned in the last episode that my mom several times had her best friend bring over the Wii Fit like scale and everything and play.
Yeah.
And the only memory I have of it is my mom getting on there and then it showed her weight and she got super embarrassed. She's like, no, why is that showing? She like tried to cover up the screen. And like it's like that. And thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of a bad design like aspect.
Yeah, this is what Miyamoto said about it. like it'd be fun for people to measure their weight in the living room with the whole family. Then maybe they could poke fun at dad for putting on a little weight or congratulate mom on her diet.
Oh my gosh.
I just love that because that's like so like Miyamoto and just I feel like kind of like a Japanese perspective. Like
yeah.
Of just like no one's gonna be like really like like overweight or something like you know like no one's gonna be really embarrassed.
That is like a genuinely I think a cultural problem like difference where it's like like Americans are significantly more likely to be genuinely like overweight and embarrassed and ashamed of it than probably like a Japanese mom or dad would.
And just like that it's like well we're gonna assume that like the mom is succeeding on her diet. That's like if they're doing this then it must be going well. But then like basically where the idea came from of like putting exercises into it is that one of the people brought two scales and was like it's kind of fun to like balance between them. And he was like let's do that. So like then they made like the board like the balance board or whatever it's called.
Oh, okay.
Where which you need to do it and like it can like check your balance like going forward, backward, left and right. So then like obviously that's where all the kind of because like I like most of the exercise is kind of like yoga-ish, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think so. And I think there's a lot of those kind of like like you're surfing or whatever, or like tightrope walking, probably stuff like that where you're doing the balance.
Yeah. And
so literally the whole game was just weighing yourself for a significant portion of time?
That was Miyamoto's whole idea, It was just like...
But there was a period of time where they're like, this is the game.
Well, no, I think they were like trying to figure out... but like
okay, good job, Miyamoto, bye! And it's like, okay, we got to think of a game.
Exactly, Miyamoto was not the one really who like came up with that. Like, and another anecdote was like, somebody at Nintendo was like, we should put yoga into it, and Miyamoto was like, no, like yoga is just a fad. Like he's like, just because yoga's popular now doesn't mean we should put it in the game. And then later they were like, buddy, we should put it in the game, and then they like got that person.
And then they were like, salute the sun.
Yeah,
and then you die.
And then
if you're playing Smash,
they smashed Miyamoto.
So I think that this is the part of the podcast where we're going to reveal that Devin's main in Smash is the Wii Fit trainer. I don't know if Devin would actually agree with that, but that is, to me, when Devin picks the Wii Fit trainer, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't have a main, but
Devin
is definitely one of them.
Devin's like completely non-monogamous with his Smash characters. It's pretty impressive.
That's right. Listen, they're okay with it.
Yeah.
They know about it.
Ethically non-monogamous. The Wii Fit trainer and Lady Marth are, I mean, they're banging each other too. It's all the way around.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way.
And also, just for the record, I'm kind of like that, but Peach is my go-to.
Yeah. But I will say, I mean, we haven't played it in a long time.
We actually haven't, yeah.
I will say you kind of like stopped playing Peach for a little bit, I feel. Or you're like, you would play her less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are certain characters that I'm honestly like, I don't want to, I feel like I'm being a dick because it's like significantly more likely that I'm going to win than if I play with like Piranha Plant or something.
Yeah.
Also, Piranha Plant.
No. Yeah, Piranha Plant's like your second main.
Yeah. Actually, I think Piranha Plant became my favorite after a certain point.
Yeah. Well, Zelda was also one of your
Zelda
mains.
is the one where I like Zelda a lot, but I genuinely think Zelda's cheap and kind of like overly powerful.
But they did like weaken her.
They nerfed her. What is it called?
Yeah, that's it.
Nerfed her? That was buffed.
You're a gamer. No, buffed is like made stronger.
Oh, whoops. I accidentally was a gamer.
Yeah. Listen, your gamer cred
just nerfed.
Got down the drain. Everyone listening to Gameography is like, that guy didn't play Twilight Princess? Doesn't know what buffed meant? This guy's not a gamer.
Honestly, if there's anyone listening to this podcast who thinks that has respect for me as a gamer,
or in any way,
okay, Devin, now that's just mean.
Listen, they shouldn't have respect for either of us.
I'm gonna salute the sun to you right now. Okay, I'm gonna shoot a giant ball of flaming hot sun.
That's positive energy. Send it my way.
And if you want to send us positive energy, find us at twitter.com @GameographyPod.
Jesus Christ. Yes. Do follow us at GameographyPod.
Do.
Yeah.
At Gameography.
Yeah. If you're enjoying, let us know. Tell your friends.
Yeah, and if you're not enjoying, then also tell your friends.
Dog your friends.
If you don't play video games and you don't listen to Gamography, tell your friends.
Listen, we've told you to take off your load. All right? And we stand by that.
I really hope you did.
We really hope you did take off your load. But we're asking you now to take on a load.
Please take our load. Wait.
Please lay down and take our load.
What were we saying last one? Take your load off.
Put your cans on.
Put your cans on.
Yeah, you already have your cans on.
So
There's
you
no need
have
to
your.
say that.
I don't want them to take our load unless they have their cans on. So
Yeah.
put your cans on, take our load,
You know
and
what-
lay down.
You know what we need you to do? Take your cans, put them on your friends' little ears.
That's Devin. That's their load. They take off their load. I'm actually taking my cans off,
Yeah.
and they put it on to their friends who are now wearing the cans.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Guiji.
Guaria.
Goodbye.
Did you say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We would like to say goodbye to you.
A goodbye.